Good evening. The Philippine Navy says it will not fire the first bullet against China Coast Guard amid the tensions in the West Philippine Sea. In an interview, Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Roy Vincent Trindad, says Navy personnel have been instructed that use of force for accomplishment of mission is not authorized unless in self-defense. When asked about what could happen if the country fired the first shot against the China Coast Guard, Trinidad says he does not want to speculate, stressing that they have been putting a lot of effort into avoiding such situation. On June 17, bolo-wielding China Coast Guard personnel rammed, towed, and even boarded Philippine vessels during a resupply mission for the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal, a move which its spokesperson Gan Yu only deemed as control measures. The incident resulted in 8 Philippine Navy personnel sustaining minor injuries, including 1 Navy personnel who had his thumb severed. Trinidad further says China Coast Guard has no right to wear the Coast Guard uniform, calling them a band of barbarians because of their actions that endanger lives at sea. He reiterates that Coast Guards are supposed to be responsible for the safety of life at sea. Manila's regular resupply mission in the BRP Sierra Madre became one of the flashpoints of tension in the West Philippine Sea, and the latest mission saw the most violent actions from Beijing thus far. Beijing asserts sovereignty in almost the entire South China Sea, including most of the West Philippine Sea, rejecting a 2016 International Tribunal ruling that effectively invalidated its claims while ruling heavily in favor of Manila. Senate President Francis Escudero says Philippine authorities must find other means to deal with China amid continuously rising tensions in the West Philippine Sea. Escudero says the Senate will ask for a full briefing from the Department of Foreign Affairs following the alarming escalation of confrontation in the disputed waters. Escudero is referring to the China Coast Guard's June 17 ramming and towing of Philippine vessels near Ayungin Shoal that left 8 Filipinos injured, including 1 soldier whose finger got cut off. In a statement, Escudero says the DFA should go beyond the filing of diplomatic protests each time an incident occurs and must explore means to conduct a meaningful dialogue with their counterparts from Beijing without giving up any of the Philippines' rights and privileges in our territory. Escudero is also urging the armed forces of the Philippines to explore alternative methods to deliver provisions to the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal so that Filipino troops are properly resupplied while minimizing the risks. Meanwhile, Senator Joel Villanueva says that China has already gone too far, adding that China has been disrespectful to Filipinos within the country's territory. Villanueva also expresses alarm that China is becoming more aggressive with their attacks against the country in the disputed waters. Villanueva is urging Filipinos to unite while thanking the AFP as well as Filipino fishermen and civilians for bravely facing the daily challenges in the West Philippine Sea. Malacanang says no officer in charge has so far been appointed for the Department of Education following Vice President Sara Duterte's resignation as the department's chief. Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cheloy Garafil reiterates that Vice President Sara Duterte's resignation as Education Secretary will only be effective on July 19, 2024. This means Duterte will still serve as the head of the department until her resignation becomes effective. On June 19, Duterte resigned from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s cabinet as DepEd chief and as vice chair of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. The vice president attributed her decision to resign to what she calls as her true compassion for teachers and students. Apart from this, Duterte did not give other reason for her resignation. Both the DepEd and the Office of the Vice President have said that Duterte will not be accepting queries regarding her resignation, noting that her current focus is ensuring a proper transition for the next Education Secretary. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian reveals that the UniTeam, or the presidential campaign team of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Vice President Sara Duterte, has not met since the 2022 national elections. In an interview, Gatchalian admits that UniTeam, which is composed of different individuals from different parties, haven't formally met to discuss their future plans as a team since the elections. On June 19, Duterte resigned from her posts as the Department of Education Secretary and Vice Chairperson of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. When asked about claims that Duterte stepped down as DepEd chief due to the change in Senate leadership, Gatchalian says the chamber's activities are confined to senators only. Political analysts have speculated that Duterte's resignation from the Marcos cabinet signals the formal breakup of the UniTeam from near tensions in 2023. Questions regarding the tandem's ties started when Duterte resigned from the political party Lakas CMD, headed by Marcos's cousin, House of Representatives Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez. Meanwhile, Liberal Party President and Albay 1st District Representative Edsa Lagman says that Duterte's resignation was linked to the removal of Pampanga's 2nd District Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo from the Senior Deputy Speaker role. During the deliberations for the 2024 national budget, the confidential fund requests of the DepEd and the Office of the Vice President were scrutinized and eventually removed by Congress. Former Vice President Leni Robredo appears to be aiming for the Naga City mayoral post in the 2025 midterm polls, according to Liberal Party President and Albay 1st District Representative Edsa Lagman. In an interview, Lagman was asked about the possibility that Robredo would get nominated for the vacant Department of Education post following Vice President Sara Duterte's resignation as its chief. According to Lagman, Robredo says she will run as a mayor of Naga City to continue the program of her late husband, former Naga Mayor and former Interior and Local Government Secretary Jesse Robredo. Lagman adds that Robredo has said she will support the national campaign for the senatorial slate of the Liberal Party and those aligned with the Liberal Party. Nevertheless, according to Lagman, it is Robredo's call if she will accept any nomination for the vacant DepEd post. On June 19, Vice President Duterte announced her resignation as DepEd Secretary and Vice Chair of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is seeking for a parallel investigation into the proliferation of fake birth certificates and abuse of the late birth registration system in the country. Under Gatchalian's resolution number 1053, the senator says that syndicates may be behind the proliferation of fake birth certificates as well as the apparent abuse of the late birth registration system. Gatchalian adds that this allows unscrupulous persons and foreign nationals to secure government-issued IDs, evade existing immigration laws, as well as perpetrate illicit activities including money laundering and human trafficking. The same subject matter is currently being investigated by the Philippine Statistics Authority. Gatchalian's resolution cites the findings of Philippine Statistics Authority regarding the discrepancies in the birth certificate of suspended Bamban Mayor Alice Go, specifically the absence of government records proving the existence of her alleged mother, Amelia Leal. Go is being investigated by the Senate Committee on Women for her alleged involvement in the illegal offshore gaming operations in the country. The resolution points out that the fact-finding investigation conducted by the Philippine Statistics Authority revealed that Amelia Leal does not have any birth, marriage, or death certificate. It also notes that despite Go's assertion that her father, Angelito Go, is Chinese and a Chinese passport holder, her birth certificate and two other siblings indicated that he is a Filipino citizen. These are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.